All right, I've just finished a Mandarin lesson, but I think I would also like to practice a little bit of Thai first. So we're going to start booking flights and travel essentials. I already have a lesson in progress, but I'm going to start one from scratch just so we can do it together from the beginning. So I'm going to click Start Lesson, and this is going to take a moment to load. In the meantime, I can tell you a little bit about this app. The application that you're seeing is one that I coded myself, and I have just upgraded it to include better voices and slightly smarter AI tutors. Okay, looks like it's loaded.
สวัสดีครับ
สวัสดี
Thomas.
ครับ
Welcome to our lesson on booking flights and travel essentials in Thai. My name is Somchai and I'll be your guide today.
Oh, this
We're
seems
going to
good.
build some really practical skills that you can use at an airport in Thailand. Let's jump right into part 1 of C. Today, we're focusing on asking about time, specifically, what time a flight leaves. In Thai, the question word for what time is gimong. Now,
Gimong.
here's something important about Thai word order, and it's actually quite logical once you see it. In English, we move the question word to the front. We say, what time does the plane go to Bangkok? But in Thai, we keep the question word exactly where the answer would go. Think of it like a slot. You just swap the answer for the question word. Let me show you what I mean with a real example. The word for airplane is เครื่องบิน and to go is ไป
Krungbin.
So to
Bye.
say the plane goes to Bangkok, you'd say เครื่องบินไปกรุงเทพ Now, if you want to
Krungbin
ask
by
what time the
Krungthep.
plane goes to Bangkok, you simply place กี่โมง in the time slot at the end. เครื่องบินไปกรุงเทพกี่โมงครับ What time does the plane go to Bangkok?
Krungbin by
Let me give
Krungthep.
you
Kimong
another
krap.
example, this time with Chiang Mai since that's my hometown. If you're flying up north to beautiful Chiang Mai, you'd ask เครื่องบินไปเชียงใหม่กี่โมงครับ What
Krungbin
time
by
does the plane
Chiang
go to Chiang
Mai.
Mai?
Kimong krap.
Have you ever traveled to a country where you had to ask about flight times in a different language, Thomas?
Oh yes, all the time. I traveled to Brazil and I had to. Well, actually, I didn't have to ask about the flight times because you book it online. But yes, I lived in quite a few places where I had to book flights. Anyways, let me try to say the sentence if I still remember. I think Krung Bin is airplane. So let me try to say the whole sentence. Krung Bin by Chiang Mai Gimong Krab. เครื่องบินไปเชียงใหม่กี่โมงครับ Okay, let's see. Let's see if it worked.
That's a great attempt, Thomas. You use Shanghai as your
Oh,
destination, and you got the structure exactly right. The pattern is เครื่องบินไปกี่โมงครับ and you placed กี่โมง in the correct time slot position at the end. That's the key idea. So you've got the core concept. The question word stays where the answer goes. That wraps up part 1 of C. Now let's move to part 2.
on.
We're going to learn how to ask about things at the airport counter, particularly your baggage. The verb we use is ถาม It means to ask. And to be polite when making a request, we start with ผมขอ I would like to.
Home call.
The word for baggage or luggage is กระเป๋า And when we want to say about something, we use the word เรื่อง
Okay, that's a bit
So
much.
if you're at the airport to your counter and you want to ask about your luggage, you would say ผมขอถามเรื่องกระเป๋าครับ I would like to ask about the baggage.
This is hard.
Let me break that down piece by piece.
Thank you.
ผม is I
Home.
for a male speaker. ขอ is
Call.
would like to. ถาม is ask.
ถาม
เรื่อง
home
is
call ถาม
about.
เรื่อง
กระเป๋า is baggage.
กระเป๋า
And of course ครับ at the end. This pattern
home
is really
call
flexible.
ถาม
You can use it to ask about all sorts of things, not just baggage. For example, if you wanted to ask about tickets, you'd say ผมขอถามเรื่องตั๋วครับ I would like to ask about the ticket.
ผมขอถามเรื่อง
Thomas, can you think of something at the airport you might want to ask about using this pattern?
What could I ask about at the airport that I know the word for? ผมขอถามเรื่อง I know train tickets. I know how to say train. I forgot how to say tickets. How to say to eat? I shouldn't have done this Mandarin lesson before because now I'm just remembering how to say to eat in Mandarin. It's like 吃饭 is to eat in Mandarin, but how do you say to eat in Thai? Gin. Um, and food is ahan. So maybe I'm gonna ask a question about food. Ahan. Pom ko tam rin ahan. Sawadee krap. Pom ko tam rin ahan. Let's see if you understood me.
Perfect application, Tomash. You
Okay,
took the
he
pattern
understood.
and swapped in a completely new topic. Aha, food.
Ahan.
That's exactly how this structure works. You keep the frame. ผมขอถามเรื่องครับ and
ผม
you
ขอ
can
ถาม
drop
เรื่อง
in
ครับ
whatever you need to ask about. At the airport, you might ask about food, about your gate, about delays. The pattern stays the same. That wraps up part Song of C. Now, let's move to part Psi, where we'll talk about something that's uniquely important in Thai, classifiers. You already know from our handout that classifiers are words you use when counting things, like look for round fruits.
Look.
For travel, one of the most important classifiers is by, which we
By.
use for tickets.
Huh.
Here's why classifiers matter. In English, you just say one ticket. But in Thai, you can't say หนึ่งตัว
Duo
That
is
would
ticket.
sound
Duo.
incomplete, like a broken sentence. You need the classifier in between. ตั๋วหนึ่งใบ
Duo.
One, literally
หนึ่ง
ticket
ใบ
one. Let me give you a few
Okay.
examples. If you're at the counter and want one ticket, you say ตั๋วหนึ่งใบครับ Two
ตั๋ว
tickets.
หนึ่งใบครับ
ตั๋วสองใบครับ
ตั๋ว
Three
สองใบ
tickets.
ครับ
ตั๋วสามใบครับ
ตั๋ว
Notice
สา
the
มใบค
pattern.
รับ Okay.
Noun first, then the number, then the classifier. Always in that order. Now, Thomas, if you were traveling with a friend and needed to buy tickets for both of you, how would you ask for two tickets using this pattern?
ตั๋วสองใบครับ but here's the thing. I think you're forgetting to advance the lesson. You do realize that you have a tool that you're supposed to be using for advancing, right?
You're absolutely right, Thomas. I apologize
There
for
we
that
go. The part
oversight.
is complete now.
Let me correct myself on two fronts. First, your answer.
Thank you.
You use the classifier pattern perfectly. Noun, number, classifier. But the word for ticket is tour, not tour. Tour
Tour.
means tour, which is a different thing. So it would be ตั๋วสองใบครับ
ตั๋ว
Two
สองใบ
tickets.
ครับ
But you nailed the structure, which is what part 3 is all about. Now let me properly advance us.
Yeah, sometimes he forgets to advance.
Thank you for the reminder, Thomas. You're right, and I appreciate you keeping me on track. That wraps up part 3. You demonstrated the classifier pattern correctly. Now we're officially on part Song of C, classifiers for tickets. Since you've already shown you understand the noun number classifier pattern,
Let's move on to the next part. How about you use your tool to advance this one more time, and then we can continue with the lesson.
You're right, Thomas. Let me advance us
Okay, I'm
properly.
advanced.
Alright, part 3 of C now. Asking about things at the airport counter. We touched on this a moment ago, but let me properly introduce the verb ถาม or to ask. When you want to make a polite request at the airport, you use ผมขอ I would like. Then ถาม or ask. Then เรื่อง about or regarding. And finally the thing you want to ask about. So the frame is ผมขอถามเรื่องครับ.
ผมขอ
You
ถาม
already
เรื่อง
showed
ครั
you
บ
can use this with ahar, raw food.
We
Let me
got it.
give you one more.
Alright,
At the
let's do it.
check-in counter, you might say ผมขอถามเรื่องกระเป๋าครับ. I would
ผม
like to
ขอ
ask about the
ถามเรื่อง
luggage.
กระเป๋า
Since
ครับ
you've already demonstrated this structure well, Thomas, tell me if you arrived at the airport and realized you didn't know where the check-in counter was, what might you ask about?
I don't know how to say check-in counter, but if I wanted to ask where it is, I would say something like check-in counter อยู่ที่ไหนครับ, which is where is the check-in counter?
I see what you're going for. You're trying to ask where something is, and that's a very practical question at an airport. The word for check-in counter in Thai is actually borrowed from English, counter check-ins, and where is อยู่ที่ไหน. But since we are still in part, Sai, let me bring it back to our pattern. You
Okay,
could
he's
also
really
ask
confused
about the
about where we
check-in
are. That is
counter using what we've learned.
a bit
ผมขอถาม
problematic.
เรื่อง counter check-in ครับ I would like to ask about the check-in counter. You've shown
I think you think we're on a different part than we are. I think we're currently on part 4, so I think we should be wrapping up right about now.
You're absolutely right, Thomas. We should be on part C, the final part. Let me advance us now. And with that, the lesson is complete. You did really well today, Thomas. Let me summarize what we covered. You learned to ask about flight times using กี่โมง with the slot filling pattern. เครื่องบินไปกี่โมงครับ? You practiced the classifier by for counting tickets. And you mastered the polite inquiry frame. ผมขอถามเรื่องครับ To ask about anything at the airport. You've got some solid, practical tools now for navigating a Thai airport. Great work staying focused and keeping me on track with the lesson pacing. Looks like we've already wrapped up.
Alright, well, the lesson is finished, and I guess it didn't entirely go as expected because the robot sometimes struggles with advancing the lesson. Hopefully, with a bit of prompting, I'm gonna be able to fix this before we go live. Yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll be around next week with more Thai and Mandarin lessons. Alright, thank you for watching. See you, everyone.